April 2014, Game 3 of the Western Conference first round. 7 seconds left and Warriors are down 2. Steph Curry has the ball, and Chris Paul, widely regarded as the best point guard in the league, is guarding him. What happens next wouldn't just decide one game, it would change basketball forever.
Curry, defended by Paul. A three, picked up by Jordan, and the Clippers are going to win it. What a gutty win. Terrific comeback by Golden State, but 2-point shot.
Two legends, two styles. One became the blueprint.
Push ahead. Curry down the lane, and he rammed it home.
The other became obsolete.
Falls down. That's embarrassing against Chris Paul. I mean, that's really embarrassing.
Chris Paul mastered the game as it was.
They are just 2 of 12 here.
And Steph Curry rewrote the script.
Curry the three for the lead.
Somewhere between CP3 perfecting the traditional point guard role and Curry shattering the limits of what was possible, the game didn't just evolve. It transformed into something the league was not prepared for.
How good is Steph Curry?
He is already the greatest long-distance shooter I have ever witnessed.
Think about that for a second. Back in 2014, Chris Paul was the gold standard, the quote-unquote point god, the perfect floor general. Every young guard wanted to be him.
And CP3, Chris Paul, is the best point guard on the planet. Quintessential point guard, floor general.
Amen.
Running a show.
Amen.
He's the best. If this were Steph Curry, then I'd say, all right, he's going to drop about 10 threes. You know, that's what he's going to do. If it's CP3, all of a sudden Mikal Bridges is going to step up. He's going to look better. DeAndre Ayton, he going to look better. Okay? You look at Crowder, he going to look better. Or Cameron Johnson, he's going to look better. This is what CP3 does.
But now, that style of basketball is fading. Sure, the essence of the position is still there, but especially among the next generation of guards, the shift is undeniable. So ask yourself one honest question. If you were growing up today and someone handed you 2 pills, each giving you instant access to one player's skill set, would you choose to play like Chris Paul, or would you become Steph Curry?
James trying to harass Curry. Curry off the dribble, layup off the glass.
What feels obvious today wasn't always so clear. Go back in time and you'll find the twist. Before Steph changed the game, he studied under a master of the old one. If you're rocking with this type of content, don't forget to hit me with a like and subscribe. We just getting started. 2008 LeBron James Skill Camp. A skinny unknown guard from Davidson is working out with the best point guard in the world, Chris Paul. CP3 is showing Curry the fundamentals, teaching him how to run an offense. They got so close that Chris Paul even took Curry and his family to Disney World. Think about that. Helping shape a player who would one day make everything he mastered a style of the past.
Curry inline shakes Paul out of his boots and hits a fallaway jump shot.
Fast forward to 2014, Warriors versus Clippers in the playoffs. Chris Paul is still the standard, averaging 17 and 9 while controlling every aspect of the game. He's the guy who can dissect defenses, find the open man, and make the right play every time. The Clippers were one of those teams we all remember.
Chris Paul, the lob, the jam! Oh, what a monster jam by DeAndre Jordan!
Lob City wasn't just a nickname, it was a movement, built around CP3's ability to create opportunities out of nothing. They had the talent, the swagger, or how we call it today, the aura, and the vision for a deep playoff run. But something about Curry felt different.
And when you think of what it means to have the fans recognize you this way,
It's unbelievable. You work hard every summer to get your game right for seasons, and you go through the ups and downs and bond together with your teammates, obviously for one goal to win. And
Curry was taking shots that made coaches and defenders, and even fans like us, question everything we thought we knew about basketball.
And he gets it to go, just his second basket tonight.
See how difficult that shot was? Why wasn't that a kick? Inadvertent.
Reddick, three, bank it.
Is that a Steph Curry kind of shot? I mean, it seems like he's one of the only people who could do that.
Yeah, nothing he does surprises me anymore. He does stuff like that a lot.
He was shooting shots as if the net was getting wider and wider.
And Curry's got it. Lee back to Steph, a three. Good! What a shot!
The way he moved off the ball was redefining how we viewed the point guard position. The Warriors were no longer just a team with a great shooter. They were a team that could change the entire landscape of the NBA. In Game 3, we saw it. With the Warriors down by 2 and just seconds left on the clock, he had the chance to tie the game with a 3. He got the shot off, but it was an air ball, and the Clippers took the win. Was it a foul? This is something that was debated. Was it called? Nah. Yet even in defeat, you could see the shift happening. Curry was forcing the Clippers to adjust their entire defensive strategy, face guarding him 30 feet from the basket, something no one had to do before. This series was the turning point. While CP3 was still the king of the traditional point guard role, Curry was planting the seeds of a revolution. What we thought we knew about point guards was being challenged, and the game was about to change forever. The Clippers won that series in 7 games, but look at how they had to defend Curry.
Steph Curry is undoubtedly a top 10 player in 2014.
Was he better than Durant?
No.
Harden?
I'll give you James Harden.
Paul?
No.
LeBron?
No.
AD?
No.
Dirk? KD?
Lying already. How we get to Dirk?
How about Kevin Love?
I'm not giving you Kevin Love.
Tony Parker?
For anyone who doesn't know, Steph averaged 24 points, 8.5 assists, shooting 42% from 3 on 8 attempts a game and 47% from the field, and the Warriors won 51 games. That's what Steph did with Mark Jackson in 2014. The next year, when he won the MVP, the Warriors won 67 games. Steph Curry was 23.8, 7.7 assists, shooting 44% from 3 on 8 attempts a game. So the box score and stuff, Steph barely changed. And he went from not top 10 to an MVP in 1 year. Sorry, no, he was top 10 anyway. You guys just weren't paying attention.
Deny him the ball before he even crossed half court. Think about that. A point guard so dangerous that teams had to completely abandon traditional defensive principles just to slow him down. Although the Clippers won, they were watching the future of basketball being born right in front of them. They just didn't know it yet. Because the next season, everything changed. But to truly understand how Curry revolutionized the position, we need to look at the numbers. Because what comes next didn't just challenge tradition, it erased it. The numbers tell a story that's almost impossible to believe. In 2014, NBA teams averaged just 22 3-point attempts per game. Fast forward 10 years to 2025, the numbers nearly doubled, and teams like this year's Celtics are putting up close to 50 threes a night. Now paint this picture. The 3-point line was introduced in the 1979 to 1980 season. From 1980 to 2014, over 34 years, teams gradually worked their way up to averaging 22 3-point attempts per game. But in just the last 10 years, the league did what took over 3 decades to build and doubled it. That's not just evolution, that's a revolution. But here's where it gets crazy. While CP3 was perfecting the old way of how things went, Curry was creating something entirely new. Look at their styles. Let's look at Chris Paul. He's chess. Every move's calculated, every possession's controlled. In 2014, he's led the league in assists while turning the ball over just 2 times per game. Perfect traditional point guard play. Curry? He's wildfire, uncontained, unpredictable, and once he gets going, there's no stopping the spread.
That's been highly overlooked. His ability to set up his teammates, 8 assists in this first half. Shooting 38% and you're 0 of 10 and you're only down 6.
And I can hear the keyboard Golden State Warriors now. Dude, Curry averaged almost 9 assists in that series too. Bro, we get it and it's understood. But if you look back at the game, it's undeniable the gravity that Steph presents due to his ability to be a threat offensively. It makes facilitating that much easier. Forget even controlling the game. He broke it, let alone redefined it. Pulling up from 30 in transition, moving without the ball like a wing, taking shots that would get any other player benched. But here's the thing, it worked. In the 2015 to 2016 season, Curry hit 402 threes. Let me say that again, 402 threes in a single season. For context, the previous record was 286. He didn't just break the record, he rewrote the rules of the game. And here's the craziest part, the record still stands untouched today. Not only that, but Curry owns 5 of the top 6 single season 3-point totals in NBA history, hitting at least 300 threes in a season 5 times. When it comes to shooting, he's not just ahead, he's in a league of his own. Think about what this meant for the traditional point guard. Suddenly, being a floor general wasn't enough. Running the offense flawlessly wasn't enough. Because while CP3 was orchestrating the game to perfection, Curry was rewriting the rules in real time. Fast forward to 2025. Look around the league's best high-volume shooters from the PG position. James Harden, Dame. You even have someone off the bench like Peyton Pritchard, second behind Steph Curry in 3-point makes this season. These aren't traditional point guards. They're hybrids. Players who could score from anywhere, create for others, and shoot from distances that would make Chris Paul shake his head. The closest thing to a quote-unquote traditional guard that pops up to me on this list would be Tyrese Halliburton. But even he's top 5 in threes and has moments that if a guard took that same shot in the 2000s, would have got benched. Here's another twist. In 2023, CP3 actually joined the Warriors as Curry's teammate. The perfect traditional point guard playing alongside the player who made that tradition obsolete. And for a moment, it worked. The Warriors were plus 46 with CP3 on the floor. You could start to see the revolutionary and the traditionalist finding common ground. But by 2025, the experiment was over, and it led to CP3 moving on to the Spurs. Because you can't stop evolution. You can only adapt or get left behind. 38 regular season games. That's how many times these two point guard philosophies collided. And in those matchups, we saw exactly how the position was evolving. In their 38 head-to-head matchups, the numbers tell us everything. Curry averaged 21 on 44% shooting. Paul averaged 20 on 48% shooting. On paper, they look like equals. But basketball isn't played on paper. It's played in space. And that's where everything changed. Check out the head-to-head playoff numbers. And here's the main difference. Curry's gravity alone broke defenses. It forced teams to put their best defender on him, even off ball. Opened up teammates just by standing 30 feet from the rim. And it made teams abandon their defensive schemes just to contain him. Or try to. And to be clear, this isn't a knock on Chris Paul. He's played flawless basketball. But perfection wasn't enough anymore. So what was it that changed the game? The evolution of scoring. And I know the OG's not gonna wanna hear this, but it's the explosion of the three ball. If you look at the playoff 3-point attempts per game, Curry had almost 10. Chris Paul has 6. When you look at the field goal percentage, Curry shot 52%, CP3 shot 50%. That slight edge in efficiency, paired with relentless volume, it didn't just shift the game, it rewrote it. CP3 made the right play. Steph made the impossible one. CP3 controlled the game. Steph broke it. The result? Defenses were left with 3 brutal options. Play him straight up, give up 30-footers. Send 2 people, leave his teammates wide open, or watch him dismantle your entire defensive system. This wasn't just a new version of point guard play. This was a whole new way to play basketball. So when Curry yelled, "This ain't 2014 no more," he wasn't just talking trash. He was stating the facts. The game had changed, and the revolution was complete. One player mastered the game as it existed. The other forced the game to change. While CP3 was perfecting the art of the pick and roll, Curry was perfecting that while making teams defend him 35 feet from the basket. Here's the results. Both amazing point guards. 2 of the greatest to ever do it. If you look at CP3, 11-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Defensive First Team, led the league in assists 4 times, led the league in steals 6 times, but no finals wins. If you look at Curry's impact, he had 4 NBA championships in 8 years, first unanimous MVP in NBA history, most threes in a season. For his career, he shot 42% from 3 on 9 attempts per game. He literally changed the offense of the entire NBA. Teams went from shooting 22 threes to almost 50 threes per game, and made 5 straight NBA finals. The difference in team impact when CP3 joins teams? On the Clippers, from playoff team to contender. On the Rockets, from 55 wins to 65 wins. On the Suns, from missing the playoffs to the finals. These are all great improvements. When Curry led teams, he changed the entire NBA's offensive system. Had the greatest regular season ever at 73-9. Built a dynasty that lasted a decade. And made the Golden State the model franchise. One player made teams better. The other changed the game of the sport. That's not just statistics, that's legacy. So when we talk about Curry making CP3 style obsolete, we're not just talking about 2 players. We're talking about the death of one era and the birth of another. Did Curry kill the traditional point guard role, or did he force the game to evolve? Let's have the convo in the comments. Because today's NBA, the role of point guard isn't what it used to be. Don't forget to leave a like and comment and subscribe if you rock with this type of content. Also, let me know what type of deep dives you'd like to see next. Peace.